views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loud Esmond, Christian Giordani, Rocky Giordani, and Jeremy James. Bet on us to make you a better.
What?
Let's get ready to steer the line.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Steer the Line. I am Christian Giordani. We have Mr. Loud Esmond and Mr. Jeremy James. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing great. It's football.
Yeah, I got to say, we're a week away from kickoff weekend. I thought by now.
It already happened.
No, I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about the NFL.
Real football.
But it's just, I thought with us being this close to the season that Rocky would have finally come back to join us. I figured he was just waiting for the season to start.
Well, I got good news. He's coming back week 1.
Of course. Okay. Right. Waiting right up till everyone else.
Yep, right until it starts.
Make us carry the show for the entire freaking offseason. Thank you.
Well, that's how he is.
Jeremy, I got to say, I love your evolving background. I remember when we first started the show, Jeremy, it was like 80s crack house was kind of the look behind him. Kind of, a broken closet and stuff piled up and weirdness. And now it's like, I really like the look, man. It's looking sharp in there at that studio.
I had to get new furniture and some new equipment and stuff. So, and then I was digging through old stuff, so I found things to decorate with and everything. So there you go.
So no, it looks good. Are those WWE characters in the boxes or X-Men or what?
Well, yeah. I mean, I got some horror movie guys up there, but all the WWE figures are my cousins, Candace and Johnny. So yeah.
And you stole them from them.
No. It's of them, actually. So, yeah.
Okay.
That's why I have those. That's why I collect those particular ones, because they're family.
I get it. So those wrestlers are family members.
Yes. So I have a bunch of their merchandise around the house. So there you go.
Sick. Well, we already said it. The NFL season's right around the corner. Thursday, I believe, is the first game, right?
Right. So let's talk some college football.
If you want to get college football all the way, because we got a bunch of NFL stuff.
All right. Let me just. I want to run through one set of numbers that is very interesting to me. There are sites that you can go to, and this applies to betting across the board. There are sites that you can go to, like covers.com or thespread.com, where you can look and see in real time where the money is on a game. Now, keep in mind, ideally for a book, they want 50% of the money on one side and 50% on the other, so they cancel each other out, and they're guaranteed they're going to make a profit because they're taking that 10%, 15% VIG that they're charging everybody to take their action. So that's the ideal situation for a book. You want like 50% of the money over here and 50% of the money over here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 major college football games this weekend where at least 84% of the money is on one side. The books cannot take a loss like that. So one of my betting strategies is when I see all the money virtually, if it's north of 75% in one direction, I bet the other way. So here's your insight for the weekend, folks. Oklahoma minus 36, Arkansas State, 94% of the money's on Oklahoma. Wisconsin minus 28.5 against Buffalo, 93% of the money's on Wisconsin. Sam Houston State plus 19.5, BYU, 89% with the underdog in the points. 85% of the money is on Colorado State plus 10.5 against Washington State. 87% of the money, Christian, on USC minus 38 at Nevada Wolfpack. Alabama minus 39 at Middle Tennessee. Alabama's getting 88% of the money. Texas minus 35.5, Rice. Texas is getting 88% of the money. Tennessee minus 28, Virginia. 84% of the money is on Tennessee. I would take a flyer on any of those, a few shekels here and there on any of those games, because there's no way No way the books can afford a loss like that in that many games. No way. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Well, that was informative, wasn't that? All right, so we got the NFL
This
season.
is a betting show, by
It
the way.
is a betting show, and we're going to get right into another betting thing. The Chiefs are hosting the Detroit Lions football in Arrowhead Stadium. Right now, the line is sitting at it's -6.5 in the Chiefs' favorite. But
Opened at 7.5.
Yep. And while the over-under is 45.5. One thing I want to point out really quickly, I love the over in that game so much. These were two of top 5 highest scoring teams in football last year, and the 2 top highest rushing teams in football last year, excluding the Eagles. So they're going to come out running the ball. But as we know, Chris Jones looks like he's not going to be playing week 1, and he's going to be holding out till he gets that contract he's been wanting. You're muted, man.
Can't
I got
hear you.
You're
Not
muted
getting
on the
Push the button loud.
technical difficulties, folks. But while we're
Oh,
waiting,
he
he is.
He has said he's not coming back till week 8 because he wants to get his last 5th year off the books, and he has to play half the year in order to do that. So he says that's what he's going to do. He says, "Find me until week 8, and then I'll make my game paychecks for 8 games, and then I'm out of here."
Mm-hmm. So a very disgruntled thing. And for everyone who's been talking around the internet, I've been seeing Chris Jones doesn't make that big of an impact with the Chiefs defense.
Oh!
I just want to read out a quick stat. With Chris Jones on the field, the Chiefs were first in NFL QB percentage. With him off the field, they're 28th. They've been first for the past 5 seasons since they had Chris Jones.
Whoa. QB percentage?
QB pressure percentage.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
right.
You forgot a key word there.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
I was trying to figure out what the hell that had to do with defense.
Yeah, quarterback pressure percentage. They're number 1 with Chris Jones on the field, and then they are very close to the bottom without him. That interior line, as good as it is, it's nothing without Chris Jones there.
And the Detroit Lions, I think, have the best offensive line in football.
Agreed.
And there's not many people who would say they're not at least top 5. They're gonna, and that's one of the reasons why I think they were willing to let both those running backs go. People were shocked when it's like, oh, they let Jamal Williams go. Weird. Well, I guess they're going to count on this guy, and then they let DeAndre Swift go. And so it's like, okay, well, who's going to be your running back? And they bring in David Montgomery from Chicago, who, I remember having him in a couple fantasy football seasons on my bench and rotating in, and he was okay. But I think they're absolutely convinced you could put me behind that offensive line and I could gain 1,000 yards. Jeremy?
Yeah, I think they actually upgraded at running back in Detroit. Swift was off injured and not that effective at running the ball. He was great at catching it, but Montgomery, he's got multiple 1,000-yard seasons under his belt. He's the kind of guy they use kind of as a bell cow in Chicago, so he's used to carrying the load. That's definitely.
And they've got the rookie.
They've got the rookie and Jamar.
TCU.
Yeah, and Jamar Gibbs. It's a 1-2 punch, thunder, lightning, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's going to be deadly to a lot of defenses this year. They can rely on those two guys to really carry that team.
David Montgomery is by the way, going in like the 6th round of most mock drafts that I've seen. Not that I'm preparing myself for the draft tomorrow at all, but I think in the 6th round, he's man. He's going to get all the goal line carries for Detroit, and Detroit is going to score a lot of points. So yeah. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's probably good for 180 to 200 carries this season, and like I said, most of the goal line work, and, Gibbs is going to be a gadget guy, and he's going to catch out of the backfield, get a handful of carries, but I think they're going to complement each other well, and I think there's plenty of room for both of them to be top 15 scorers that come fantasy football at the end of the season.
All right, Christian, what's next?
Well, continuing on this game real quick, as I already stated, I think it's going to be a run game for the first half. And once it transitions, I think by the end of this game, it's going to be an old Wild West shootout. Jared Goff had his best career game against the Chiefs about 5 years ago. I think he's going to repeat some of that magic.
Who was he playing for then?
The Rams.
Just pulling your leg.
back then. But I think it's going to be a whole shootout, and this game's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people are thinking.
Jeremy, if you had to pick this one right now, I think almost everybody's going to say the Chiefs win because it's at home. They're the Chiefs. But I bet on this game before the line moved. I saw the 7.5 2 weeks ago, and I went, well, I'm betting that now because I knew it was going to move lower. And then, by the way, another key betting strategy, folks, if you see a line that you like, grab it. Don't wait because they move. So I got it at plus 7.5. That means I would so much rather have a game at 7.5 than 6.5 because 7 is one of those magic numbers. Jeremy, who do you like, and would you take the points or would you lay them with Kansas City?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people are on Kansas City, but I know a lot of people are also on Detroit as far as the season goes. I think Detroit could really shock a lot of people and win this game on Thursday night. I know Kansas City's at home, but their defense is not going to be the same without Jones there. And I know it's Patrick Mahomes, but I got to see what these receivers give him to work with. He's basically got a jumble of has-beens and never-wases, and he's got to make it work. So outside of Kelsey, I'm curious to see what that offense is.
Well, Kelsey, and let's be honest, Kelsey is 34. That's like, that's like 90. He's 34.
Yeah.
Before the end of the season, he's 34.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that's like 90 in tight end years.
He doesn't look like he's lost anything yet, so he's still going to be a weapon. I think Detroit could get the upset, and what a fun way to start, week one of a brand new season with Detroit upsetting Kansas City at home.
Yeah, I was the one who was saying all last year, look out for Detroit, and everybody was making fun of me. You know what would be great? A competitive football game on Thanksgiving with Detroit in it.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't that be great? That. I mean, every year that Detroit game is a snooze, right? Because they just suck. And so I would love to see, wouldn't it be great to see Detroit win on Thanksgiving? I mean, for God's sake.
How long has it been?
I don't know. I mean, I just remember Detroit losing by 20 points every Thanksgiving. And that's gotta suck if you're a Detroit fan, doesn't it?
Oh, what a horrible way it was always the first game in the morning. So what a horrible way to start your day. You got to work your team to lose yet again before you get to enjoy the family and the food. So I'm glad to see Detroit's going to be competitive and has a good team this year. So they'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, that division's up for grabs for any team, in my opinion. I don't think the Vikings are going to go back to being a double-digit win team again this year.
They got a much harder schedule than they did
lost
last year.
A good amount of their defense, and they lost Dalvin Cook, who was a majority of their offense, aside from Justin Jefferson. And they lost Adam Thielen, too. They're two wide receiver.
Thielen, a sneaky pick in fantasy football in Carolina because I think he's going to be the most reliable receiver. Not the best, not the most exciting, but the most reliable receiver on that team is going to be Adam Thielen.
Yeah, the Bears upgraded with their offensive weapons. They got DJ Moore. I think Justin Fields is going to come into his own this
Jordan
season.
Love is getting a lot of love all of a sudden.
Yeah, got paid $20 million in an extension. For a guy who's really unproven is shocking to me. And while we're staying on the NFC, another powerhouse team, the Giants defensive player of the reigning defensive player of the year, Nick Bosa, wants a contract restructure.
In the Niners?
Yes, sorry. What did I say?
You said the Giants.
Niners. Yeah. San Francisco baseball gets stuck in my head. You know that. But the Niners reigning defensive player of the year wants a contract with $167 million for 5 years, which equals out to $33.5 million, making him the highest paid defensive player in the league.
I think at this point he, has the right to ask for that kind of contract, considering what kind of player he is, what he does for that team. He's one of the best defensive players in the league, so he's going to want to get paid, and I don't see any problem with him asking for that kind of money. When you want to talk about contracts, though, just real quick, the one that shocked me, I don't know if you guys saw.
TJ?
The the former fullback for the Raiders, now in Miami, whose name all of a sudden escapes me. After you said TJ, I just completely lost it. But
way to go, Christian.
their old fullback, they signed a fullback to a 3-year, $17.8 million deal or something like that. I mean, yeah, he's getting
fullback?
he's getting a good deal for a full. And I'm like, you're going to pay a fullback that, and guys like Josh Jacobs couldn't get paid.
Alec Ingold.
Yeah. Alec Ingold, yeah.
Yeah.
And
God,
then,
I remember Alec Ingold. No, I don't. I don't at
he
all.
was a fullback there for like 5 years. So
Yeah, and I don't remember him at all. So and back then I was a deluded Raiders fan.
and
So
did you see TJ Hawkinson's contract?
Yeah.
which,
Highest
by the
paid
way,
tight end.
I completely disagree with.
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
69 million or something.
He
like
cannot
that.
stay healthy. You know, when another team is willing to let you go, I question the value. I mean, Russell Wilson, basically for a box of foot. I think that Russell Wilson trade is going to go down as one of the greatest coups by the Seattle Seahawks in history for what they fleeced the Denver Broncos for. And, you know, it's just a team letting you walk away is like you go to your wife and you say, honey, I love you. And she says, yeah, I got to think about that. Yeah, that, you know, if the one who knows you best is willing to let you walk away, TJ Hawkinson, yeah, nice player. Worth that much money? No.
No, he's a good player, great hands, but he's getting $30 million fully
And
guaranteed.
he's not healthy all the time. He's missed a lot of time. That's one of the reasons the Lions let him go.
No, that was a big contract for a guy who hadn't quite gotten to the point where.
And by the way,
that
the Lions
contract.
upgraded. The Lions upgraded at tight end. They took the best tight end in the draft in that kid from Utah.
Sam Laporta.
He's going to be great. I think the Raiders made a mistake with their tight end pick. I'm a Notre Dame fan, as everybody knows. I watched every game that guy played. He's big. He's got good hands. Smart kid. He's slow. He is slow. And I think that's going to be a problem at the NFL level. But we'll see. I mean, I hope the best for him because he's a Notre Dame alum. But Michael Mayer, I don't think, is all that at the NFL level. You know, a tight end that I absolutely love? Darren Waller with the Giants. Jeremy, I think he's going to have a great year.
Yeah, I think the passing game is going to go through Waller as long as he stays healthy. He could put up another huge season. He's their outside of Saquon, he's their best weapon. And yeah, I think he's gonna have a great season. And you know, he's someone I've actually been targeting in fantasy football. One of the things, if you have a position, if you have a flex position,
taking him.
Okay,
just throwing it out there.
All right.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But, you know, as I was trying to explain, if you have a flex position in your league that would allow tight ends along with running backs and receivers, along with Kelsey, I think Waller this year could be a guy that if you get him and another good tight end later on in the draft, you might be able to use Waller in one of those flex spots because he's going to put up those kind of numbers.
Yeah, he will put up receiver-like numbers, I think.
So I think he's a guy that I know a lot of people are worried about injury, but you can't draft every year worried about injury. So, you know, I think he's in a prime position to have a huge year.
By the way, did I ever complain about the fact that every year I've been in the fantasy football league with you, my first round draft pick is injured within the first 4 weeks and missed the rest of the season?
No, you've never mentioned that once at all.
I haven't?
Every show during the season. No, not at all.
I can't believe I never mentioned that.
Yeah, I don't recall that at all.
I got to tell you, it has effing pissed me off.
Never have to tell you other people don't want to hear about your fantasy football team on these shows.
Oh, that's true. They don't want to hear about my fantasy football. Christian, what's next?
That's all I got so far.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to talk about the running back situation in Indy at all?
Oh yeah, that's right, Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, they didn't get the trade in before their Tuesday deadline. Now he's on the PUP list for 4 games. So he ain't playing until at the minimum week 5. And I don't know who they're going to run in Indianapolis for the first 4 weeks outside of Zach Moss.
You know what's crazy? The Saints play the Indianapolis Colts week 3, and 80% of the pundits have Indianapolis winning that game. And I'm like, what? With who? How? What is they have Jack at quarterback. They have Jack at running back. They've got Mo and Curley and whoever at wide receiver. Their offensive line sucks, and their defense is worse.
I could see them winning 2 or 3 games this season.
Yeah,
with a rookie quarterback and their running back issues, he doesn't have enough weapons over there to have a lot of success. He's
I am really
very well might go winless.
I am really worried Anthony Richardson is going to get David Card, which is a verb, by the way. A verb that means a talented quarterback who is run into the ground by an awful football team and never recovers mentally.
At least he can escape some of those sacks. He's not going to get hit 76 times in one season, I don't think. He'll be able to cut that in half at least.
RG3 thought he could too.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, Anthony Richardson is in the worst freaking situation of any quarterback in the league. I think he is going to be just wrecked. One of my very good friends, Jay Pragg, who's the lead economist at the Drucker School of Management at Claremont McKenna Universities, graduated from Florida. He's a Gator. He's originally from Baltimore. So he's also, a Ravens and Orioles fan. But in college football, he's a huge Gators fan. He texted me the other day, and he said, these guys are insane for starting this kid at quarterback. His completion percentage at Florida was right around 45% in college. And I don't see how you get better in the NFL. There is one quarterback that we've seen get better in completion percentage at the NFL level, and that's Josh Allen. Other than that, I don't know who has.
It's going to be a rough season for him. I don't really like the situation for any of these quarterbacks. I don't think that any of them really have great offensive lines or really solid
let's talk
weapons
about them all.
them.
Who are the rookies? Bryce Young at
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, you got Bryce Young.
Is where?
And he's in Carolina. He's got Miles Sanders, who's always hurt as his, and he's pretty average running back. He's got, DJ Chark and Adam Thielen, receiver, both, at least Thielen getting up there a little bit in age. Chark has never been much than a deep threat for some teams. I just don't see a lot happening there. And then you mentioned CJ Stroud with Houston. Again, outside of their running back situation, they got a couple of good running backs, but they got a guy who was hurt his whole rookie season. They're hoping bounces back. They got Robert Woods, who just looks the age he is after the last couple of seasons.
Their defense is awful.
Their defense is awful. Their offensive line is not good. These 3 rookies just aren't in the best situations to be starting as they launch this season. Not anywhere near, looking as good as, say, I don't know, when Aiden O'Connell looked for the Raiders all preseason long, like he knows how to play this game. So just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, it's great to win in the preseason because that really.
I don't care about winning. I just like the kid's decision making. I knew nothing about that kid.
Who gets the first? Who has the first draft pick in the NFL draft next year? Christian.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Jeremy.
Ooh, I was about to say the Colts, and because I was kind of forgetting about the Cardinals. I'm going to say the Colts. I'm going to go with the Colts.
Raiders.
Won't happen.
It won't happen because they got a good enough squad. They still have Devontae Adams. They still have Hunter Renfrow.
I have faith that there was a master plan behind all of the horrible moves the team has made, and I think the master plan is to tank for this season so they get Caleb Williams.
I think
otherwise, there is no sense to anything else everybody's done.
No,
that's what Arizona's doing. They're absolutely tanking. I know you jump teams and you're going to be a hater now, but this team is actually better going into the season than they were at this point last season, I believe.
I agree.
I think they're more solid in areas. I think their defense is going to surprise. I actually like the talent in the
1 minute.
end. So, and guess what? Here's my bold prediction. Raiders going to go 3-0 in September.
I like that. Honestly, I think Aiden O'Connell is a good enough quarterback to keep him steady, at least in a wild card race.
So the Raiders' plan is to win 4 games, not get the top draft pick, and still suck at quarterback. Congratulations.
I don't think what's his name coming out USC?
Caleb?
Yeah, Caleb Williams. I don't think he's a franchise saver either, so I wouldn't tank for him. But anything else to say, folks, before we head out?
The worst thing that you can do in the NFL is be mediocre or worse and stay there. And apparently that's the plan of some franchises. Okay.
All right, everyone. This is The Line, where you get all your betting and NFL news. Jeremy, you have something to say before we go?
No, I was going to say, enjoy college football, you fans, and enjoy the Thursday night game before we see you all again.
Yes, all right, man. NFL's back.
And
go Raiders, go football.
Finally, Lions plus 7.5 is what I got.